Welcome back. We got a surprise on Parliament Hill last night with Conservative MP Michael Mah choosing to cross the floor and join the governing Liberals. Alex Marland, Chair in Political Trust and Leadership Politics Professor at Acadia University, now author, is with us. Congratulations. This is the book, No I in Team. We're going to talk about this. Your appearance here tonight could not be better, time-wise. So Michael Mah joins Chris d'Entremont of Yarmouth, of course, in crossing the floor. How do Canadians generally regard floor crossing? We've seen a fair amount of it of late.
Yeah, well, so we've just seen these two Conservative MPs go over and join the Mark Carney Liberals. And, you know, it really varies. Like, sometimes what happens is constituents get absolutely irate. They get really angry because when they vote, they're thinking about the leaders, they're thinking about the parties, and then all of a sudden, why should it be up to their representative to make the decision? And some people say, these people should resign, there should be a by-election. And then there are other times where people say, good for you, like, I'm glad you left, you know, there's a matter of principle, or you weren't being treated properly, or we're going to get more out of this, and etc. So there's no real right, one uniform way that people react to these things.
This might be naive, but it seems like the only requirement to join another party, to cross the floor, is to be an MP. Is there any vetting that goes on? Is there any concern that, I don't know, maybe Michael Mah isn't the right fit for the Liberal Party of Canada? Certainly there must be some ideological differences because he was a Conservative for so many years. We don't really seem to get the gist of any of that. It's just that, yay, he's coming to us.
Right. So usually what happens, and I know this because of the research that we did, which involved interviewing 90 political staffers, political leaders, floor crossers, parliamentarians right across the country, among other research. And what happens is there's actually conversations that are happening behind the scenes. So what we are not seeing is that in the lead up to crossing the floor, there are emissaries who are going back and forth, having conversations, feeling things out, trying to figure out if it's a good fit, what does the person want to, what is being offered. And eventually it climaxes with a meeting of the leader or often a phone call with the leader. It's only once everybody else has kind of sorted out the goodness of fit, because there are instances where they have conversations and it falls apart.
Right. It must be electric behind the scenes on Parliament Hill right now, because we know the Liberals are one now away from a majority, and we understand, listening to Mr. d'Entremont and Mr. Mah, that you know, the field is ripe now to go after other Conservatives and maybe others, you know, on the sidelines waiting to cross the floor.
Yeah. So politics is really hard to predict. And so the best way to kind of anticipate what's coming is to draw upon history. And so the research that I've done tells me the following, which doesn't mean it's going to happen. But the first thing is that all of a sudden now I would say that any Conservatives who are possibly thinking about crossing the floor, they're thinking about it even more than ever now. Okay. And any Liberals who are reaching out to Conservatives are now even more motivated than they were before. Here's an element that people aren't maybe aware of. Over the Christmas holiday season, lots of politicians kind of reflect on where they are. They have conversations with their family. They try and anticipate what they're going to do. And anybody who's thinking of leaving politics or making a career move, they will often announce it in January anyway.
After they take their walk in the snow? Kind of,
depending on where they are in Canada. But so the point is that we should anticipate that there are going to be people who are thinking about it over the Christmas period, and I would put money on it that we're going to see at least one more floor crosser.
Okay. You write in the book, and it's really interesting, that there are positives and negatives, not only for the parliamentarian, but for both parties involved when someone crosses the floor. I never really thought of it in those terms. You tend to think about the individual, but not necessarily. There might be some benefit for the party that person's leaving.
Yeah, totally. So what happens is sometimes when people leave, they're actually troublemakers. They're causing all this trouble. And, you know, I came across one instance where somebody crossed the floor and a staffer bought a bouquet of flowers and mailed it to Justin Trudeau's office and said, here, that's a congratulations note. We don't want this person in our caucus. I don't get the feel that Pierre Poilievre's team is sending any flowers these days, though.
You have to go back to Confederation, just before Confederation, to find the first person who crossed the floor, and it happened to be Nova Scotian.
Yeah, 1868. And so the thing to keep in mind is back then, when you look into history, how awful things were. And so we think about, how toxic social media is, how hard it must be to be a politician. But back then, this floor crosser, he changes sides, and he goes back to his constituency and he gets pelted with eggs. I mean, that's not good.
I thought social media was tough.
Yeah.
Alex Marland, the book is No I in Team. Tremendous research. Thank you very much.
Thank you
for coming in. We'll see you next time. We will take a break. We'll be right back.